Hello, my name is Will Paris, and this is my Physics 2212 Charged Tapes lab. In this lab, we will be using Scotch tape to calculate the amount of electrons transferred between surfaces of this charged object. In this lab, we will use Newton's second law, F equals ma, or force equals mass times acceleration, as well as Coulomb's law, F equals kqq over r squared, k being the constant, q being the charges, and r being the distance between the two charges. In order to calculate the charge on the piece of tape, we can also use the approximate size of an atom to find the amount of excess atoms. In the experiment, we found that the charge on one tape was 2.5 e to the negative 8 coulombs, and that the deficiency electrons in each piece of tape was 1.59 e to the 11. With this, we calculated that there are 2.3 e to the 6 atoms for every electron on one piece of tape. Before beginning to explain my experiment, I will first define my systems and my surroundings. My system will be my pieces of tape and my surroundings will be everything else. In this experiment, two pieces of tape were placed downward on a table, one on top of the other. The top tape was ripped quickly off the bottom tape and hung near several objects in order to determine the charge. The removed tape was hung above the original bottom tape and began to float. The distance between the tapes was measured. When determining the charge of the tape, we found that it was positively charged and lost electrons in the transfer, or the ripping of the tape. I measured the tape to be 0.2 meters long and 0.002 kilograms. We also found that the distance between the two tapes was 0.019 meters. With this knowledge, we can calculate the force of gravity on the tape with Newton's law and finding the electric charge in the tape with Coulomb's law. So, using the measured things from the experiment, I created a glow script code and I plugged it into glow script, and I found 1, I have a model on the right, and 3, I have found the 3 answers we were looking for in the experiment. So this glow script code relies off the fact that there is no net force in the tape because it is floating, so the force of gravity is equal to the force of the electric field. So as I said before, the charge in the piece of tape was 2.5 e to the negative 8 coulombs, and that the discrepancy was 1.5 e to the 11, and that there are 2.38 e to the 6 atoms for every electron on one piece of tape. Although this is a very precise calculation, there are many sources for possible error in this experiment. The first is human error in calculation of distance and mass in any other human-related calculations. Another error is that this assumes that each tape has the same charge Q, and that this could be slightly different, could slightly change the charge of the tape. Also, some charge of the tape could have dissipated as people touched it and the charge was detected. So in the lab procedures, we are asked a what-if question. It is, what if electrons have positive charge and protons have negative charge? This is an interesting thing to think about, but the observations would not change if the charges would just be reversed and the tapes would still repulse. In the lab procedures also ask a why question. So this was, why is it important to touch the tape as little as possible within the experiment? This is because the electrons would transfer from the tape you are handling to your hand as you are touching it. This would change the results found in the lab and is one of our possible sources of error that we talked about previously. This is my code that I used in GlowScript in order to find my results of this lab.